Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good day. I'm Burla Kawasaki, your host for today's show. And we're super excited to have you join us today. We just are unveiling the financial services twin release. This is our biggest leap yet forward in an AI native automation platform for banks and credit unions. One of the reasons we're so excited about this particular release is that it ushers in a new era. This is an era where we empower financial institutions to transform their operations with AI native workflows, with human and digital collaboration, and also with composable no-code architecture. All of this it's not about the technology, it's about delivering smarter, faster, more personal experiences for your members and for your consumers. So with that, let me get things started. I'm supported today with a great set of members of the Creatio team to take you forward. So let me briefly introduce the panel, starting with Andy Dovgan, our Chief Growth Officer.
All right. Hello again. And thank you so much for joining us. We know that you have all busy agendas, so we appreciate you taking this hour and spending it with us. We promise we have an absolutely incredible agenda lined up for today. We have demos. We will share our vision. We'll talk a little bit more about our roadmap. So this event is promising to be very exciting for all of you. Phil, why don't we go ahead and introduce you for the audience?
Yeah, happy to. Thank you, Andy and Burley, Phil Russell. I'm excited to be here for this release. It's meaningful for me as I lead North America when we look at the business opportunity we have with financial markets, with banks and credit unions, bringing AI native forward, converging it with the financial services product that we built for this platform. It's the most powerful statement on the market, and we're going to hear some of those incredible stories here over the next hour. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for going with us on this journey.
Yeah, and I'm Jenny Beer. I'm the VP of Solution Consulting for the Americas. I've spent the last 4 years here at Creatio working with financial institutions across North and South America, and I'm really excited to be able to show you what's in the release today specific to all of the business problems and users that you have. So very excited with what we can show you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Jackson. I'm the FinServ Consulting and Strategy Lead here at Creatio. And this is something that I live every day, so I'm very excited to show all of you what we've been working on and what we have to offer.
All right, and I've already introduced myself, but I'm, again, Burla Kawasaki. I'll be jumping in and out of the presentation today, but really I think what we'd like to do is dive in, first of all, to get a peek of what's coming in terms of the future of financial services. And so, Andy, over to you.
Of course. Look, I wanted to start by saying that this year was extremely successful for Creatio in regards to expanding our presence and actually starting partnership with a lot of incredible organizations that represent a very different sides of this world, from North America to Latin America to Europe to Asia, Australia, you name it. And we wanted to say thank you so much for all financial services organizations that help us to shape this industry together. We won't be able to develop it by ourselves, and we are very, very grateful for all your trust. And we're also fully committed to make sure that we work together as one team to help to provide better service to our customers and to help financial services organizations to leverage what the AI era has to offer to build a sustainable competitive differentiation. And this is actually probably the most important topic we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk about the way how AI and no-code and ready-to-use capabilities for banking and credit union sector allows us to reimagine the way how human workers and digital workers collaborate together. This is not a new slide for Creatio, and it represents really the heart of the philosophy that we have for AI and for a new wave of automation. The idea behind Creatio philosophy is that we see a tremendous value by combining AI agents and human workers and enable them to achieve unprecedented results. Similar to industrial revolution that happened some time ago, I think we're now in this verge of seismic industry shift. Right now, smart organizations organizations that understand how to blend digital talent and human talent will be able to create a sustainable differentiation and will be able to outpace the competition. Because now there is a tremendous opportunity for us to use the likes of AI agents and delegate to them all time-consuming tasks, delegate to them all the tedious work so that our human workers can spend their time when it's needed the most. Building long-lasting partnership and relationships with their customers, making sure that we deeply understand needs of our customer community, and we are the first one on the market to come up with tailored solutions. So that's why I think that smart organizations can take a tremendous benefit of finding this right balance between human and digital talent, and actually act quick, just to make sure that you can demonstrate this unprecedented level of efficiency that AI agents can bring to the table. And we wanted to share with you an interview with one of the leading credit unions in North America and credit union, and we sat down with Matt, who represents our Center of Excellence for Creatio and Credit Union, and we had a meaningful discussion about what AI means for Ant Credit Union. Let's spend another minute just listen to it.
So Matt, AI is core to the Creatio platform, embedded right at the heart. How do you see this enabling new types of benefits?
We've already seen with just traditional CRM use cases, the centralization of data giving us that member 360, but AI really takes that data up a notch. Rather than trying to sift through tons of data, the AI can help us aggregate summary views that are more relevant during that interaction, or even prompt for products and services that might be more relevant to that member. Creatio AI in particular is uniquely positioned because we've got the power and speed of no code that we're starting to infuse with AI. And so it's giving us the ability to deliver AI experiences to our business users and employees faster than it would through traditional means. We don't have to go through complicated channels. We don't have to set up complicated integrations because everything already is in-house. It's already contained within that Creatio platform.
All right, so that's very quick overview of how to use AI and how Ant Credit Union thinks about that. But I also wanted to say that when we encourage you to think about transformation and automation differently, we're not saying, forget about risk, forget about compliance, just go all in and deploy those AI agents and let's see what happens. So the idea behind it is that you need to use AI responsibly, and you need to make sure that there are all the safeguards and guardrails and all the needed compliance and security measures are being taken into consideration, and you have a program that allows you to control the usage of the AI. You do that through first applying the human-in-the-loop approach. When you not allow an AI to do all autonomous decisions or actions without a human working overseeing that and confirming this. Because we work in the highly regulated industry. There are a lot of compliance regulations and requirements that we need to take into consideration, and that's why we need to make sure that the human-in-the-loop approach is applied to every use case that you demonstrate. You also need to make sure that you have the right governance models, that you can control the deployment of AI use cases, and that they have the needed checks and balances to be able to drive value without increasing risks on your organization. And once this is resolved, you will be able to see absolutely incredible level of ROI, absolutely incredible level of adoption, because we can use AI to you'll see that in the demo, to really reimagine the way how our users interact with the system, where no longer you need those objects and those fields, etc. You can interact with your system through the natural language, but also we can demonstrate an incredible improvement of everything related to efficiency, saving you hundreds and thousands of hours because AI agents can automate and can do the work for you where it's important. Also, when we think about the strategy for financial services development for Creatio, we're focused on three major pillars. One is continuously releasing ready-to-use workflows for banks, credit unions, and other financial services organizations to make sure that you have ready to use, out of the box best practices that you can deploy from the day one. Secondly, we understand that each and every financial services organization has its own secret sauce. So we use no-code capabilities to make sure that you can adjust and configure those workflows to meet your specific requirements, and you don't have any restrictions related to that. And finally, we are aggressively releasing AI capabilities, specifically AI agents, to make sure that you can deploy them in the entire customer lifecycle and make sure that you can gain needed productivity improvements and you can delight your customers. So this is a quick map of all the financial services workflows that we have in Creatio product. And as we develop our product, we review them and we constantly enhance them. And now add in a lot of injections of AI capabilities along the customer journey. So today for our financial services release, twin release, we're gonna break it down into 4 major pillars that is aligned with the way how our workflows for the industry are structured. We're gonna talk about consumer lifecycle management. We're gonna talk about product fulfillment, operations and execution, but also compliance and risk management. Each and every segment will have a specific demo of a newly released capabilities. So that's it with introduction. So Burley, why don't we take a couple of questions from the chat before we dive into the demo?
Sounds great.
Okay. So let me pick a couple of examples here, and I'll define how we can address it. So we have a question from Ali. Is customer data used to train the AI? So Burley, do you want to take this question?
Yeah, and it's important we really understand, as Andy said, that we've put in place a number of safeguards, right, and trust layers to really ensure that none of your private or sensitive data ever is used to train a large language model. And so the data stays with you, and the only information we send out to a large language model is really just sort of the context information. Any customer or personalized information is anonymized. So we take this extremely seriously, and we have a number of safeguards in place to ensure that your data does not train the large language model. Now, there's other types of predictive models, machine learning. In these cases, these are models that you have inside your instance or your tenant, and those can be used to train those predictive models. But again, that never leaves your tenant. It's never shared with any external source, and so you have the confidence that anything that you've trained your predictive models on is managed and governed and secured by you.
Okay, excellent. So we have a question from Rajan. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. So Chris, I will address this one for you. If financial services workflows means a component of a financial core banking, Chris, do you want to address this one?
Yes, if I understood correctly, but absolutely. So lots of the workflows are directly, I guess, let's say, connected to your core banking system. So specifically the operations and execution workflows that we'll get to in just a little bit. But the idea is that Creatio acts as a single pane of glass for really all of the different activities, the different actions that you can take in your tech ecosystem, which includes the core banking system, of course, digital banking, loan origination systems, all of the above there too. So absolutely, certainly some core banking workflow related issues.
Yeah. But Creatio is not a substitution of a core banking system. We work on the top of a core automation. So we extend the customer element of the core, and we are in a lot of cases we're becoming the primary UI that the end user utilizes, but we are not a substitution for a core banking system. It stays where it is now. There are a lot of questions about on-premise deployment of AI. The good news is that yes, AI can be used on-premise. We'll let our research and development team to comment on this and provide specifics. And then also there was a request in the chat about us coming back to the slide. We're going to share the presentation with everyone, so you guys will be able to enjoy all the slides. We won't be able to come back because we're on a strict timeline and we want to show you all of this. And also there was another question about the availability of all the capabilities. Everything that we demonstrate today is already available in the financial services product and has been released. So that's actually the rule of thumb. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the future releases in the end of the presentation. So very quickly, but we'll continue to answer those questions in the chat. And now, Phil, let's dive in with the first part of the workflow set.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Andy. And certainly this is exciting for myself. I'd love to share the story with everyone else. But when we look at consumer lifecycle management, the platform that Creatio brings forward has already been architected to create tremendous, kind of journey mapping of the consumers, whether they be banking customers or credit union members. What we've been able to do with AI native is to extend the capabilities to create a better experience, to provide better, more awareness to insights and alerts. As we talk about, and we'll take a look at a video in a moment walking through how this manifests itself, what we're really doing is we're abutting the AI agent, that digital twin, with the knowledge worker to create a more cohesive experience. You'll see a few things to call out, to highlight here, but the interaction between the knowledge worker and the agent, the user on the Creatio platform and the agent, is enhanced by our ability through generative and agentic AI to bring the right answers forward at the right time. I saw a question in the chat earlier that Lisa asked about how do we maintain kind of the human-centric nature of work with AI, and what we're doing is we're complementing, that's the theme of the twin, we're complementing the agent and the human side by side on this technology. When we bring alerts and insights forward, it allows us to identify new events faster, to flag things that we might not necessarily see as just a human worker, to be able to raise key life events, new drivers in a household as an example, and use those as opportunities in your life cycle management, in the journey with this consumer, to create a better relationship with them. With marketing agents, we're allowing and enabling the knowledge workers on Marketing Creatio to quickly get to the segmentation, to the data, to the execution of the campaigns that matter and are more material for them, to automatically populate based on real-time triggers. So instead of going out and trying to build a segmentation campaign manually, now we're able to just give that work order to an AI twin and have them carry out that work for you. And all of this being done through that natural language, allowing and enhancing effectively the customer 360-degree view, so that you have all of the right information and the recent insights, the financial goals, the householding structures, all at the right time. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the video of this, kind of walking through an overview of how this customer lifecycle management with Creatio AI can manifest itself. Here we're able to stay up to date on important milestones with our customers without ever having to set up rules. You can quickly drill down into a list of individuals and identify maybe something with Alexander Wilson, where we recognize that there's an alert about him reaching a child, or a child in his house reaching a driving age. Right? We don't have time to go through all of this on our own. So you'll see the Creatio AI is automatically populating new events in the timeline of this relationship that we have. So we have a potential new driver that we've been able to identify and automatically target. So being able to then drill down into our triggered campaign and to flip over to a natural language view where we can interact with that AI twin, to simply ask it questions, right? So instead of going and doing that work on our own, we're able to quickly build a list of the most recent leads related to this alert. So we might get a prompt to say, how many people are, or show me a list of the recent new drivers that we can take action on. Maybe we run a campaign for auto loans. Maybe we do something else with them. That same agent can help the marketer identify all of our recent insights without needing to open individual contact records. So aggregating and surfacing the information in a material way, simplifying the ways of working so you can quickly get to where you need in order to, again, act on these key life events, trigger personalized campaigns, enable marketers to engage proactively. There's no manual data review, there's no complex setup, and this really hopefully demonstrates how AI-driven insights power timely, relevant customer interactions. If we kind of wrap up with the consumer lifecycle management, just to kind of summarize what we're able to bring forward here, the always on, just in time AI insights and information we're able to bring forward allow you to create that personalized connectivity and outreach. It allows you to get the right information to the right people as well. So you're going to drive higher conversion rates because you're positioning the right product for the right person. The 360-degree view, we've seen it and it's already robust, but the power that Creatio AI brings forward to create a better understanding of each moment in this life cycle, they really manifest themselves in a very intuitive, a very modern way. And more often than not, the challenge that we hear over and over from legacy vendors shifting to Creatio is, I used to have someone else do the work for me. Well, now marketing teams can launch these campaigns. They can build segmentation models. They can capture, a limited set of data in no time with their AI twin and take action on them. So this is a fantastic transformation that continues to position, the lifecycle management capabilities for working with financial consumers in a positive light.
Phil, incredible demo. We have a few questions that I'd like to run by team. And by the way, the chat is so active. We love seeing all those questions, and we promise we're gonna respond to all of them. And we also will put together a document with all the questions, and it will be available on our website so that you can then refer back to them. So, Jenny, I have a question for you from the chat. Can those AI agents be personalized?
Yeah, we're actually going to show some specific examples of this, but the agents are designed to be role-based so that it's taking into account, the lens that this role would have for the question that's being asked and the answer that's being given. And then access to those agents can also be role-based. So definitely trying to take into account, me as the user and what's the context in which I'm using Creatio.
Excellent. Chris, the question is, a little bit. The audience wants to know a little bit more about how does Creatio detect those live events that Phil demonstrated in the example with a new driver. Like how can we detect those new live events?
Sure, there's a few different ways. The first way would be by enriching the data. So we also have our AI agent can enrich that contact information with outside sources if that's available. If that's not available, then we look at our customers and our members and we build relationships with them, right? We want to make sure that AI might be doing some of these mundane things, but that opens us up to be able to talk to our customers, talk to our members to get that additional information about their lives. And that's the kind of thing that we want to know. So when certain things like that happen, let's say new drivers or people turning a certain age, then those are the types of things that we want to set those triggers for so that we remember, and then AI can help us to really serve our customers and our members a little bit better when those certain things happen in their lives.
Wonderful. And then look, Creatio's financial services product has been shipped with ready-to-use AI alerts that are set up to detect some of these. And then, of course, like everything with Creatio, you can use our no-code tools to go and introduce new ones, right? And you can use all your imagination. You can use some standards that you've used in the past, and you can really extend the list of live events and triggers that you will use in Creatio. That's the philosophy behind Creatio. We do have a lot of out-of-the-box capabilities, but we also don't restrict you from go and adjust and extend the system with your own ideas and your own workflows. That's cool. Let's go to our next category of workflows.
Chris, talk to us about what's new with product fulfillment.
All right. So over the past year or two, we put a lot of focus on enhancing all of our out-of-the-box workflows, of course, but specifically in the FinServ area. And part of that absolutely relates to product fulfillment. So when we say product fulfillment, we mean those processes for loans or lines of credit, credit cards, deposits, savings accounts, and so on and so forth. And all of these workflows are powered using AI and ready-to-use out-of-the-box capabilities. So these serve a few purposes. The first one is to streamline account opening and lending using those pre-built but adaptable workflows. That's a big point there, is that, yes, they're pre-built and they can be used as your foundation, but it is flexible with no-code capabilities that you can adjust that and make them your own as you need to. So let's say you do something a little bit differently than someone else, then certainly easy enough to change. So this also enables the AI to guide the users and the customers or your members through a little bit more intuitive and efficient process. So ideally, this will speed up the time to decision. Approval, which is really what we want, since that's the ultimate goal of product fulfillment, is to really fulfill the request at hand. And we want to make sure that we do that quickly. So I mentioned AI guiding the users and the consumers through the process, but it can go even further than that. Since it's actionable AI, our AI agents can handle kind of the boring and, like I said, mundane tasks, while the humans focus on building those relationships instead of being bogged down with, let's say, paperwork or those repetitive activities that really happen the same way every single time. So finally, driving intelligent upsell and cross-sell recommendations, always important, based on that holistic view that we talked about just a minute ago of the consumer that we have within Creatio. So whether that's life events, whether that's the product mix that they currently have, and we say, hey, maybe they need this other type of product because it fits with the other portfolio that they have. So, of course, these are not the only benefits of our pre-built kind of product flows, but these are certainly some of the most important ones. And I think now let's take a look at a couple of the actual workflows in action. So we received an AI insight that a family savings plan would be a good fit for Alice Phillips. And it turns out that that insight was correct because she's coming to the branch to open that account. So Creatio takes all the guesswork out of completing this application, starting with verifying that customer's identity. We expedite the process by pre-filling the forms with known contact information, and then Creatio walks the user through every step of the application, driven by the selected product and the standard procedure for that product. So once we input the parameters for the application, it will move on to generate a list of required documents that are set per product. So the customer could provide those documents through the customer portal, but we can also quickly drag and drop required documents into the application as needed. So let's say we have them on our computer, we can certainly drag and drop those. The automated processes that come along in these workflows, including any required compliance checks, those will happen immediately and in real time. For the sake of the demo, we'll go ahead and mark this one as approved. But in practice, this would happen automatically based on that data that's brought in through the integration with fraud. So now that we've passed the compliance checks, it's time to get all the authorized signatures for the application. Again, I can drag and drop all the necessary files if they wet signed. We can also use e-signatures. So within seconds, the new financial accounts automatically created through integration with your core banking system, like we mentioned a little bit earlier. And I can view that new account right here in Creatio immediately. And then finally, before closing the application, Creatio AI is going to consider everything that we know about this customer and suggest related cross-sell and upsell products all before they've even left the branch with you. So this is a good example of how Creatio streamlines that product fulfillment process with AI-driven insights to automate application and compliance steps, kind of creating the account, and then ending with that personalization that we talk about and that cross-sell recommendation that really fits that customer or that member. And it highlights how AI and no-code deliver faster and more personalized service. So I think a quick summary of the product fulfillment section, that we just saw, some of the realized benefits is we significantly decrease the application times with AI-filled product forms and our guided workflows. And the next one, this is a big one. We ensure that the best product for that consumer is given to us through our AI-driven predictive loan and credit recommendations. So making sure that these recommendations are tailored, they make sense, they fit that consumer, they fit that member. We eliminated manual errors and rework by automating key steps in the process. Our share of wallets also increased by triggering those AI insights for cross-sells or upsells at the right time when they make sense. And then finally, we freed up the human advisor to do human things like building relationships. And now I'll turn it over to Jenny to talk to us about our operations and execution workflows after a few questions from the audience.
Yeah, well, why don't we answer a couple of questions? We continue to receive a lot of them. So, and I know that the team has been fantastic addressing them. But Kyla has a question that Chris, probably this one is for you. Do you have a public-facing account opening for customers to fill out online versus in branch?
So if we're talking about an application, there's a couple of different ways we can handle that. We could use the customer portal if we would like to allow our customers to submit that way. We can also connect and integrate with multiple, with really any of our digital applications or your online banking, and so on and so forth. If you would like to use the application that you have currently, or if you have an idea about building an application for your online facing applicants, and we can adjust that into Creatio because the different fields would match and we would take that data and then perform those actions. So AI would be built into all of those different things. Like we said, it is built into the core of the platform. So AI completely still usable through those different things, but of course, the integrations are available as well.
Excellent. And then Ryan has a question about are those PDFs are pre-populated from Creatio web forms? Jenny, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, for sure. So yes, the PDFs you can automatically create those PDFs by populating information that you have in Creatio. You can also have web form data that is brought into Creatio and then also creating those PDFs. So a variety of ways to get web form information into Creatio and then automatically create the needed PDFs all seamlessly through Creatio.
That's cool. And then Burley, question for you about what models or LLMs are being used for this demo.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, you see a lot of either agentic or generative work going on, and we support the sort of market leaders. In this case, we don't think we can, or we want to try to create our own proprietary model. We'd rather partner with the leaders. So OpenAI is the most broadly accepted, but we have customers that are using Anthropic's Claude model as well as also Google Gemini. So those are the top three, but we'll talk more about this a little bit later, but in the roadmap, we're going to open this up so that you can bring your own model, and you'll be excited to hear more about that. And really, the intent is to let you tap into the innovation that is happening in the market because it's moving too quickly for any one vendor like Creatio to try to keep pace. So we're going to support the models that you want.
Cool. And then the last question, then we will move on to Jenny's part of the workflow pie. So Kevin is asking, can the agent perform AML and RMCP checks? So Chris, this one probably for you.
Quick answer is yes, absolutely. And there's we've actually have a couple of different kind of versions of the kind of a fraud and compliance AI agents, and that can be whether it's passive and it says, hey, we built it into the workflow for certain products that it can kick off certain activities or perform certain actions when we hit a certain part of that process. It can also kind of keep scanning. If we need to do our periodic know your customer checks, then it can keep scanning that and let us know when someone is out of compliance so that we can address that head on, or we can proactively kind of stay on top of those things before it gets past certain regulatory thresholds. So like I said, a couple different types of agents there, but absolutely, yes.
And we'll come back to that in a few minutes, actually, and show you that in action.
When we're going to show that. Okay, so good stuff. Jenny, back to you.
All right, so what we want to talk about here is how Creatio and AI can help with operational efficiency, because we know that operational efficiency remains a challenge for many financial institutions. Now, there's a lot of manual work that leads to errors and inconsistent customer service experience. So this can be particularly true for customer service areas of the organization. So the example that we're going to take a look at here highlights some of my favorite parts of this release, one of them being the embedded Creatio agent in Outlook. So you'll be able to see this example where just from within Outlook, we can access all of the customer 360 information and even take action. So it can automatically create an application or a case directly from Outlook so that I can utilize all of that important contextual information and process information that's in Creatio, but even access it in my daily tools such as Outlook. And this will definitely help a lot with productivity. And then, of course, once a case is created, we have agents to be able to help that user in the customer service area more efficiently process those cases. So being able to surface all of the important information about a customer so that I have all of that contextual information about the customer's relationship with the organization, as well as all of the processes and procedures that I should be following in order to provide consistent service across the various branches, for example. And then the knowledge base agent also surfaces the important like step-by-step information, or maybe for those things that we don't do very frequently, instead of having to go look up the policy in a binder, I can actually just find that information either proactively provided to me or, querying some specific thing that I remember once from 6 months ago. I am able to find that all easily. So that helps provide consistent and faster service as well. So we're going to take a look at all of this in action so that you can see this example in real time. So here you can see that we're in Outlook. And in this example, we have a loan officer who's receiving an email from Alex Wilson, whom we helped get a loan previously. And among other things, the email says that he lost his debit card. So just here from within Outlook, this loan officer is able to create a case, answers a couple of questions, and then before he even closes that email, the case is created and visible here in Creatio. And perhaps most importantly, Creatio AI has already identified which team should be assigned this case and created that checklist as part of processing the case. But most importantly, it also recognized that there should be multiple cases related to this lost debit card. We should make sure that the other one is closed, and we should also create a case for the fraud team to make sure that there's no suspicious activity on this case or on the account. So with just that one click in Outlook, 3 cases were created across 2 teams, and the service user can quickly access AI in order to find recommended next steps and important things to consider when processing this case. So the experience is really seamless here for making sure that, the case origination is really quick and easy, and in the tool that was most useful for that first user, the loan officer, and that handoff to the service user is seamless as well, with all that information and the automated next steps taken so that all of the teams can get involved, and that handoff is really seamless and connected. And then, of course, all of that contextual information we were talking about. So new customer service agents, for example, can get on board much more quickly because those checklist items were automatically made, and that knowledge base article is there for any deeper detailed questions that they might have. So this really helps to make sure that that there's that holistic approach to operations and efficiency, driven by the process that you will have for your organization, but then also taking into account the relationship information that you have with that customer as well.
Excellent. And I specifically love this idea of Creatio AI going outside of Creatio interface per se. So when we can, operate in other applications such as Outlook or Teams, because there's just so much information available in, say, Outlook. Because in order to help you to, update the information automatically, you can use all of the data. And my favorite example, salespeople in financial services and not in financial services really hate updating their CRM and their business applications. That's something that they're not really enjoying doing, and that with the help of AI we can automate up to 80% of all the data entry, because we know all this data. It lives in our Outlook, it lives in our Zoom calls. We just need to take the data and use AI smartly and go and update all the records so that you have more enriched profiles of your customer, of your case, whatever an object is being used, but also you're able to significantly increase productivity of your salespeople and increase the quality of data insights. So everyone wins. It's win, 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 and that's the reason why you should be embracing the AI. There are a couple
I should add just one thing here. In addition to embedding inside productivity tools, we didn't have time to show you, but we also embed on your mobile device as well. So if you're on the go with your phone, you can do the same types of embedded experiences just to quickly capture a lead or to quickly create a case. And then by the time you're back in the branch or in the office, things are updated as well.
Okay, good stuff. It looks like Outlook AI was a big hit. So Sabina is asking, is is AI recognizing only English language, or can it generate leads automatically? So it can recognize any language that is being used by LLMs. So in this case, you can process it in any language that is being used by LLMs. And yes, it can generate a lead. It can basically generate any record in Creatio, and you can set up AI skills within your AI agent in a way you want it to be. But there are a lot of kind of data updates that can happen through the Creatio AI Outlook extension. Let's see a couple of additional questions. So Simon is asking, how can we retrain the AI agent if we find that there are some bad data? So Burla, do you want to address this question?
Yeah, and we'll see this a little bit when I do a demo later. But the great thing about any of the Creatio agents is that they are no code, and so that means it's not a black box. You actually can go in using our no code tools, and you can constantly tune and optimize them to make them smarter and more tuned to your business process. And so in the case of operations and execution, there might be, for example, other practices, procedures that you have stored in documents. One of the things you can do is train it on those external documents, right? So that it can not just sort of generally respond, but it can follow particular practices that you have already defined. And so those documents can be added, of course, anything in Creatio that's available in the knowledge base or other parts of the information that Creatio has access to. It can use that to really tune and optimize the behavior so that it's as accurate and precise. And then, of course, as you use the human in the loop model that Andy talked about, you're constantly spotting things that maybe should be just a little bit different or maybe just a little bit more accurate. And so the human in the loop model can actually allow you to continuously sort of spot some of those edge cases or exceptions. And that can, again, be used to tune and refine the process to ensure that the agent performs exactly as you want it to.
Incredible. So let's move on and see the last piece of our demo today and talk a little bit more about compliance and risk management. I know that bankers out there love the topic of compliance. Let's see what we've got here.
Okay. All right. Well, you've seen a lot today, and we've taken you on a tour. You've seen a lot of the out of the box sort of AI native workflows. As I close with talking about compliance and risk, though, it's worth recognizing that it's hard to be completely sort of out of the box, right? Because every institution really has different compliance requirements, right? Based on the geography, based on the products you service your customers with, based on your risk appetite. And so that means that really no two compliance workflows are ever exactly alike. And so that's really part of the power of Creatio's approach, is that you're given an out of the box starting point, but you're not locked in to some kind of rigid or one size fits all workflow. And you'll see in action here that we provide AI native workflows that are configurable using no-code tools. And that means that you can tailor your compliance or your risk workflows to your exact requirements. And also, it's important to recognize these are constantly changing, right? New regulations, new requirements. And so as you need to adapt your onboarding flows to support new, KYC requirements, or if you find, that you need to route high-risk alerts differently based on your practices, those types of changes can be made instantly, right, using the no-code tools. And you can then, make those configuration changes, push them out to all of the staff or the branch employees that are using these workflows in real time. And so there's a ton here. We're going to sort of do a quick tour through this, but I'm really going to again focus on sort of more the ease of sort of creating and customizing this, and sort of go behind the curtain, so to speak. You've seen sort of the end user experience for the demo so far, but now I'm going to take you into our development tools and show you what it's like when you want to create and customize something uniquely for your needs. So I'll start with going into our Studio product, which is our no-code platform. You see here the Creatio Process Designer, and I've opened up one of the KYC workflows. So you can see how quickly you can tailor the compliance workflows. In this example, we're going to modify the KYC onboarding process to include a maker-checker approval step. This is something that's commonly required by an internal audit or by regulatory policy. Everything here is drag and drop. It's very easy to modify, very easy to customize to your needs visually, right? You don't need to write code. You don't need technical expertise. So all of this is easily modifiable. And when you need to add some additional data, right, you can call out to pull in data from other sources, whether it be a document that you're pulling in, or you may call a system to automatically compute a risk score. All of these external fields and data can be pulled in and composed very easily. So all of that is available visually. Again, you see how easy it is to just point and click. And once you've done that, you can also, of course, modify not just the process, but also the user interface. And so here, I show you an example of how you can now modify and update the user interface as well to match. Now, we're going to go behind the scenes. We've talked a lot about AI and AI agents. This is actually the AI agent designer. And so here I'm specifying more information about the role. And this isn't just a text description. This is actually providing the guardrails that tune it for the role specific behavior, what the agent should do, what it shouldn't do. You can specify rules, restrictions, requirements. All of this is specified in natural language so that it's customized for your particular needs. If we had more time, we'd go through, train it on a bunch of other documents or other data, but you can see here that just in a matter of minutes, you can very easily define the agent that really matches your business process, and that can be invoked by either a business process like the KYC workflow, or that can be initiated by some sort of trigger or life event as well. So there's a lot there. I'll just try to sort of summarize, and then we can take, of course, some questions. But you've seen how easily you can tailor this to your needs, right? Hopefully that's the takeaway, which is it's not rigid. It's not something that is a black box. You don't have to wait on the vendor to release a new capability, but you can mirror your business process, your compliance requirements through the use of no code. And then once you do that, then as you saw from product fulfillment or from some of the other demos, these agents, these intelligent AI use cases then can be accessed in real time, so that if as you're onboarding a new customer, or as you are adding a new product, that it can enforce and call the right agents throughout the process. This it really empowers everyone to use consistent compliance to detect suspicious activity in real time as they are doing their work, and that AI is behind the scenes, automatically spotting suspicious activity, automating a lot of the detailed analysis tasks that, again, humans and human fact or document review may not always check. And why does this matter? Ultimately, it gives you a intelligent compliance and risk management capability that is easily customized, not just initially for your process, but on an ongoing basis. As regulations change, as new compliance or audit requirements are added, you can respond more quickly to those changes without having to worry that, you've surpassed the limits of your particular application and that you have to replatform. Creatio really future-proofs your ability to keep pace with the latest in regulatory requirements through the use of no code. So I think at this point I'll pause. And Andy, what kind of questions have we gotten that we should take?
Well, we got a lot. Let's pick a few. But I also wanted to probably give an additional summary here, is that, look, Creatio is a platform that is focused on agentic automation, but the key word here is platform, right? So you're not restricted with any out-of-the-box capabilities that we release. You can go and create your agents. You can go and expand functionality. You can go and create your tailored solutions using our agentic platform. And now with an expansion of AI, you don't have any limitations of doing that. So you can build, 100, 200 agents. You can train them using Creatio model, and you can deploy them in different stages of your workflows in the front office, in the back office, where they can make the biggest impact. So that's actually the beauty of the Creatio strategy, is that we bring to the market the best from the both worlds, ready to use out of the box capabilities, and then almost unlimited extensibility that you can do with the workflow design, but also with AI agent deployment. So now let's talk a little bit more about the questions. We get a lot of questions about the kind of upgrades on premise. I wanted probably to address all of them all at once. So first, all the capabilities that we've been presenting are available in both cloud and on-premise mode. So in Creatio product strategy, we don't differentiate, we don't release only cloud, for example. Like the capabilities that we release are almost identical. Doesn't matter what type of deployment option you have, including the AI capabilities. But the usage of AI, as you know, in on-premise installation is slightly different. So you need to consult with your customer success manager, depending on your setup and the LLM and the way how you organize the usage of AI, there are some slight differences. And the all capabilities that we've presented today, they are available to our customer base, and you can discuss the upgrade process with your customer success team, with your partners with whom you work. We would be delighted to see you move into the new version as soon as possible. So that's actually a very quick comment. And the final one is that, look, all the capabilities, everything that we've been demonstrated today are being included by default as a core functionality into our core financial services product. Those are not add-ons that you need to buy on the top of what you already have. All the AI capabilities are included, all the AI agents are included, so you can enjoy those capabilities from day one once you join Creatio community, or you upgrade your current instance, current version with a new version of the financial services product. So that's actually a very quick answer about that. Now we have a quick question from Anna about, we love that, those are like the best questions. So how does Creatio compare to traditional CRM players like Salesforce and Microsoft? So who wants to take this one? Burley, do you want to address this one?
Yeah, I'll take that. Well, so, very quickly, as Andy just had talked about, everything that you need from an AI perspective is built in, right? And so there's no additional licenses, and really for our existing customers, that's super exciting because that means that you can get started today. In addition to sort of our AI capability, the other thing I would call out that's fairly unique is the out-of-the-box sort of pre-built support we have for banks and credit unions. I think when we look at the market, many of the leaders are not investing in building sort of really focused, tailored solutions for banks and credit unions. And so rather than having to build everything from scratch or rely on third-party solutions to sort of cobble together, really the fact that Creatio does provide and supports our own AI-native workflows that are tailored to your needs is, I think, another big difference in what Creatio provides to banks and credit unions versus what some of the other more generic sort of off-the-shelf CRM vendors provide.
Okay, got it. I have a couple of additional questions. So Ali is asking, in short words, why would you say banks and credit unions should consider Creatio right now? Well, I think that the answer is very easy. Right now, it's a new race for the differentiation. And a lot of banks and a lot of credit unions are under significant pressure from customers, from a larger financial institutions, from fintech, and other disruptions. I think that digital and automation becomes a way how financial services organizations compete with each other. If you don't have a strong digital backbone, I think that in a 3-5 years run, it will be very difficult to compete with those organizations that are more agile, that provide superior service. And Creatio, I think, provides you with an unique and incredible opportunity to leverage all the most modern technologies, but not use them only off the shelf. Those are kind of, it is what it is, you use it or you leave it, but use the power of no code to configure and embed your secret sauce. And we do that better than anyone else on the market. And I also think that with our ability to combine all the AI agentic patterns and make this AI accessible and also configurable for all our banks and credit union customers, this brings us to the next level. So another question that we have here, Jenny, probably this one is for you, from Kevin. For banking, product core is generally outside of Creatio. how do you keep product and Creatio in sync with the core banking systems?
Yeah, so Creatio has an open API, and we do have the ability to have bi-directional integration. So it would be something where changes are made in the core. You can automatically update information in Creatio, and that would be true about like the customer information that you want to be viewing in Creatio about maybe something like the current balance, for example, but can also be true about your product information. So if you're managing that product information in the core and you want to update the information in Creatio, that can be done in an overnight batch, or it can even be done in real time or on demand. So part of any implementation, you want to think about that master data management, that strategy that you want to employ, and Creatio with that open API and that bidirectional API will be able to implement, whatever's going to make the most sense for your business.
Incredible. Okay. So we have just a few minutes left. Why don't we go ahead and just do a wrap up and summarize our release, but also our next steps.
Yeah. Thanks, Andy. I'll be super quick. There's been a ton of exciting things that you've seen today, right? And I wanted to underscore what I think mentioned earlier, which is everything that you've seen today is available now. And so for existing customers, talk to your customer success manager, partners, work with your partner success manager, Pam, and really start trying this out, using it today. There's a tremendous amount of really breakthrough innovation, right? You've seen all of this that I have here, which is really supporting this vision of changing the way banks and credit unions really service their customers, their members, through a combination of AI and humans working together, powering this sort of reimagined set of financial workflows, right? And so it's not just automating your old processes, but it's really setting you up to have reimagined processes. This is based on no code. It's based on built-in AI that allows you to future-proof your applications, your business, and to take control of this in your own business teams and not have to use or require a lot of scarce technical resources in order to maintain and evolve your application. Now we're going to give you just a peek into the future of where things are going, and I'll ask Chris to just briefly touch on these points. But this is what's on the roadmap. We're not done innovating, and so Chris, we talk about what's on the roadmap for each of these areas.
Yeah, thanks, Burley. I think we wanted to end with a little bit of like Burley said, a sneak peek of what we are working on now, because you've seen kind of what we've been working on and what we've been focused on. But what's next? So, what can we expect in the future? So we remember our 4 different categories here. For consumer lifecycle management, we're focused on enhancing our lead management with AI-powered scoring and routing, our commercial sales processes like pipeline management, and then expanding our AI-driven marketing campaign execution and targeting efforts. So kind of the top of the funnel is a big focus for us, just because everyone wants to grow. For product fulfillment, that includes expansion to different products, of course. So that includes small business, other product types like mortgage, real estate, and so on and so forth. We're working on fine-tuning our AI cross-sell logic, because you can always be more tailored to consumers. So that's kind of been an ever-evolving effort that we have with cross-sells and upsells, and then incorporating smarter onboarding with guided workflows and satisfaction tracking. For operations and execution, the main focus is improved account maintenance and service efficiency. So that includes things like AI-guided resolution coaching, and that's all meant to better serve our customers and our members. And then last, but certainly not least, is our compliance and risk enhancements that are focused on smarter fraud detection. I've seen quite a few questions about fraud in the chat. So looking at fraud scoring, making sure that we are expanding the no-code regulatory offerings, like the different capabilities for Know Your Customer, anti-money laundering, and our real-time audit dashboard. So lots and lots of very exciting things on the horizon as well. So we're excited to keep working, and excited to show you those in the near future too. And I think that's it for me now, but I think we'll move into Q&A portion, and I'll go back.
Incredible. We are on time, so we probably will skip the Q&A, but all the questions will be answered. So we're going to provide you with a write-up on all the questions and answered. And I also saw a question from Kirsten about the further deeper demos. Absolutely, yes. depending where you are at your cycle of relationships with Creatio, if you're existing customers, please work with our incredible customer success teams. If you are a potential customer, we have our incredible sales team available internationally, so we're happy to connect with you in any of your location in your language. But also for partners, we'll have a dedicated partner days, and of course, the demo instances will be provided. Thank you so much for being such an incredible audience today. We had a record show up rates today, and we are so happy to see how excited you are about our financial services release. Thank you, and have a wonderful day ahead.